Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay Rorick, and this is my final presentation for my strategic management course at Shorter University, final course in my Master's of Management program. The company that I have been researching for the past 8 weeks is Adidas. I initially chose this company because the university's athletic department that I work for recently signed an all-sport contract with Adidas. We have had a great first year with them. This partnership with such a globally renowned brand has brought so much pride, has helped us really rebrand our department as a whole. And I really just jumped at the opportunity to get to dive into this company deeper and just kind of learn about the core of who they are and where they are growing in the future. So in today's presentation, I will share with you all just some background information on the company, a couple of strategic choices they made, how that shifted their mission and vision for the company, their current strategy, and evaluate their internal and external climates, and make some recommendations for the company going forward. So, looking at Adidas just at the core of who they are engaged in the design, the development, manufacturing, and marketing of a broad range of athletic and sports lifestyle products. The company offers its products primarily through 3 different brands, all of which are under the Adidas company umbrella. But these 3 specific brands are Adidas, Adidas Golf, and Reebok. The products of Adidas are sold through various mediums, including sporting good chains, department stores, lifestyle retail stores, franchises, and online retailers. The company operates in Europe, the Americas, and Asia Pacific, but their headquarters are actually in Germany. So understanding that they are a European-based European-based company, it's not surprising then to know that they gain their popularity through one of the most dominant global sports, which is soccer, or football as it's known there. Adidas currently holds a share of 39% of the global soccer market. In an effort to grow internationally and across all sport realms, not just soccer, Adidas looked to sign sponsorships with high caliber US athletes. So when looking into making more of a global footprint and expanding their brand even more, their executives recognized that 40% of the world's sports apparel and footwear sales were made in the US. They also recognized that 9 out of the top 10 best-selling shoes in the US belong to Nike, their largest competitor. So, as they started making these strategic decisions, the executives signed 2 of the company's most famous partnerships, Derrick Rose and Kanye West. So the lifetime contract with 2008's number 1 NBA draft pick Derrick Rose was signed in 2012. This was one that happened to be very unlucky for the company, which they never could have predicted. Derrick Rose suffered from not 1, but 3 serious knee injuries. And whenever you have an injury, this means that you aren't getting playing time. And if you aren't getting playing time, then you aren't representing the brand. So this wasn't a successful partnership at all. Their second famous partnership, however, came with Kanye West in 2015. And this launch of this partnership was with his personally designed Yeezys, which really helped the company make significant headway in the footwear market, which was their main goal, because as you remember, their main competitor, Nike, had 9 out of the top 10 best-selling shoes. So, after this partnership, in the latest quarter, global revenue for the corporation rose 17% year over year and was a first quarter record for the company. So, with this background knowledge, knowing that Nike, their biggest competitor, really had a hold on the U.S. market. And then they came over and signed these partnerships with these big names and really just began to rebrand themselves. They said, okay, this isn't okay. Our largest competitor has this foothold on us, and we need to strive to have a competitive advantage. How can we evaluate our external climate, our market, and really rebrand ourselves internally to have that competitive edge and to make growth where we want to. So in order to do this, Adidas created the mission statement that said that they want to be the best sports company in the world. Best to them, by their standards, means that they design, build, and sell the best sports and fitness products in the world. And this best is also the best service and experience for their consumers. In order to achieve this mission, the company said that they would focus on initiatives such as authentic sports brands, investments focused on highest potential markets and channels. They would create a flexible supply chain. They would consistently innovate. They would focus on sustainability, and they would create long-term shareholder value. So, understanding their mission, that they want to be the best, and to them, the best means putting their consumers first and making strategic choices based on their consumers. It makes sense then that they would launch their current strategy now, which is called Creating the New. They launched this in March of 2015, and this is their business plan through the year 2020. So Creating the New has 3 different pillars. These pillars are speed, cities, and open source. So just briefly, speed has to do with innovation. So their speed pillar says that they will anticipate their customers' needs. So they will use technology to be able, they'll take their past research, consumers' most previous purchases, and say, hey, this is what people are buying, this is what they're interested in, this is what the market is doing now, these are the trends, and so based on these things, we will purchase said products and make sure that we have them in stock so that our customers are always happy. Cities focuses on very specific geographical locations. So there are 6 cities that the Adidas company has identified as being the most influential, as having the most influential consumers in the world living in these 6 major cities. So those cities are London, Los Angeles, New York, Paris, Shanghai, and Tokyo. So understanding that their consumers and their target market, which is specifically younger consumers, which we'll get to in a moment, younger consumers are influenced by their peers. And so if the most influential consumers are living in these 6 cities and they are the ones that are influencing other consumers, then obviously they would want to make sure that they have a footprint in these 6 major cities. So that's in their plan for 2020, or by 2020, And that other pillar is open source. So open source just says simply that they care about their brand and that it is influenced by their consumers, and so they want to create a space that their consumers can provide feedback to them so that they can be making the best choices based on those consumers. So speed, cities, and open source are those three pillars as a part of that new strategy, creating the new for the company. So understanding that strategy, that mission statement, then it's important to look at the external climate and kind of how those competitors are influencing the company as they're making these decisions and as they're looking to grow. So the Adidas company is a part of the global sports apparel market. The biggest takeaway from the research that I found is that this market is very competitive. Very competitive. And the other piece of this is that unfortunately it is very easy to find substitutes for these brands, not just for Adidas, but for the majority of the brands in the sports apparel market. They struggle with what they call knockoff brands very often, and that certainly hurts them because we know that we're always looking for the most affordable option as well, and typically these knockoff brands are much more affordable for the consumer. So this is something that they're battling. Numerous key players that are also operating in the global sports apparel market include, of course, Nike, also Ralph Lauren, Lululemon, New Balance, and Columbia Sportswear. So each of these companies have adopted various growth strategies to capture a larger market and increase their customer base. Some of the strategies that were adopted by these companies include product launches, partnerships, and acquisitions. So with this understanding, Adidas entered into a partnership with Manchester United, which is one of the most successful and popular football or soccer clubs in the world, in order to promote its products more globally. This has helped the company to strengthen its market position in various geographical locations. Also, within my research of the external climate, I used Porter's 5 Forces model, and Hill, Jones, and Schilling share that there are 6 forces that shape competition within an industry, and specifically as it relates to Adidas, these forces are the closeness of substitutes to one's product and the rivalry among established companies. So, as I mentioned earlier, this industry is very competitive and substitutes are easily found. So with the knowledge that competition within the sporting good industry is high and that these substitutes are frequently found, we can infer that competition and substitutes will be a continued threat for this company. So with this understanding of the external market, we can then shift back to the company's current strategy and look at their strategy initiative timelines as they're looking to gain that competitive advantage and that differentiation between both their competitors, and those substitutes that's a major threat for them. So the timeline for creating the new and these 3 initiatives, speed, cities, and open source, include specific targets for the year 2020. It's the company's ambition to increase the share of speed-enabled products at least 50% of their net sales by 2020. This would put them in the position to provide customers with up-to-date products, and they expect this part of the business to achieve 20% higher share of full-price sales. Next, with regards to the 6 cities that the company is focusing on, Adidas remains committed to achieving a leading position within these cities by doubling revenues by the end of 2020 as compared to 2015. Finally, when evaluating targets for open source for 2020, the company's goal is two-part. So first, they want 30% of shared content on brands to be user generated. And second, they want to grow the number of users in the digital ecosystem for over 250 million users. When evaluating these bold timeline initiatives, it's important to understand Adidas, and at the heart of who they are is their employees, their people. Adidas believes that their employees are the key to the company's success. As an integral part of creating the new, the people strategy is a testament to thinking that their 2020 strategy can only be executed if they speak to their people on all levels and win their hearts and minds. The people strategy consists of 4 pillars that serve as a basis for creating a culture of support and success, which is exactly what they want to do for their consumers. These 4 pillars are meaningful reasons to stay, role models who inspire them, bringing forward fresh and diverse perspectives, and creating a climate to make a difference. So, as I mentioned, this creating the new strategy is one where they're focused almost exclusively on their consumers and their consumers' feedback, and they really do care about what their consumers' wants and needs are. And what better way to model that than internally with their employees? So that's exactly what they're doing with their employees. The executives are saying, we care about you, we care about your perspective, we recognize that you are a diverse group of people who model exactly the type of consumers that we are trying to promote our brand to, and so we want to hear your feedback. And I think that this is an incredible platform to begin with. And I think that the company will be very successful with this going forward. So just as I mentioned, the company focusing on a diverse group of consumers, a very specific age group. So Adidas uses differentiated targeting strategy to target young adults, as well as children who have a passion for fitness and sports. So although it targets customers in the age group of 13 to 40 years, the majority of their consumers are 15 to 30 years of age and made up mostly of middle class. Within the strategic plan Creating the New, Adidas has 4 measurable goals to be achieved by the year 2020. These goals are to achieve top-line growth significantly above industry average, to win significant market share across key categories and markets, and to improve profitability, sustainability, and to deliver on commitment to increase shareholder returns. So first, in order to achieve top-line growth, above the industry average, the company states that they will aim to increase currency-neutral revenues at a rate between 10% and 12% annually. Next, in order to win significant market share, the company has defined clear roles for each of their markets depending on macroeconomic trends, the competitive environment, and their brand strength. Third, in order to improve profitability, sustainability, they plan to grow their net income from continuing operations by an average of between 20 and 22% per year. Finally, in order to deliver on their commitment to increase shareholder returns, the company is targeting a dividend payout ratio in a range between 30 and 50% by 2020. The company's success in 2016 was a direct result of the new initiative, Creating the New. Adidas exceeded their goal of annual currency neutral sales by 5%, resulting in a total increase of 18%. As a result, net income is expected to grow at a higher rate than the top line and is projected to expand by 20 to 22% on average per year during the 5-year period. Based on Porter's 5 forces theory, we have learned that the athletic apparel and footwear industry has rivalry among established companies and closeness of substitutes to their product. Due to these facts, one might suggest that the Adidas Group worked to differentiate their products so that the comparison to other products is not so strong and it is more difficult to create those knockoffs. Their strategy, creating the new, shows that the company understands this challenge and is committed to innovation and maintaining a competitive advantage within the industry. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I look forward to seeing all of you next week.